Hi and welcome back to my channel. I'm Isabel Alvarez Arata. I'm the host of Covered in Pet Hair, a boozy show for pet lovers on Pet Life Radio and YouTube. I am here to share the 5 things that I do not own for my dogs. 5 things. And here we go. The first one is hooks to hang leashes and collars and accessories on. You know, you go to Home Goods, you go to Pottery Barn, and they have these really cute dog-specific hooks. IKEA makes them with like, a tail that's super cute. I don't have those for my dog's leashes. I actually own a couple of those IKEA hooks in my office just for decor. But for my dog's leashes and harnesses, I actually use a galvanized bucket that I bought at Home Goods, and it sits under a chair where my kids always sit to put their shoes on. So it's like our command center for leaving the house. We usually use that for the kids, and we have the dog leashes right underneath, so they are ready to go if ever we need to just bolt out the front door. That's where I like to have my leashes and my harnesses. They're always clipped to each other. They're ready to go. I have 3 different dogs, 3 different leashes and harnesses, and they're accessible. They're kind of out of the way. If I have hooks up, I'm probably going to use it for my purse, for a kid's jacket, for my husband's hat, for work, whatever it is. I will probably use it for something other than the leashes. So that's why I like to have the designated galvanized bucket for the leashes and the harnesses that sit right by the front door, out of the way, but well placed enough to grab them in a hurry. Next thing that I do not own for my dogs is multiple water and food bowls. I only have 1 bowl for each dog and a water bowl for the house. And my house is pretty small. It's not like I'm not in a mansion where they're walking a lot to find their water bowl. I think it's plenty of water for all 3 of them to share. It's a pretty large bowl. We refresh it multiple times a day. They get plenty of water, and I don't have to manage all of this extra inventory in my house. I usually wash the bowls in the dishwasher a few times a week. It's really easy to do because I keep them in the kitchen right next to the dishwasher. That's where they're fed, in that area. I use stainless steel because it's easy to throw in the dishwasher. It lasts forever. I've had 2 of my dog bowls since 2007, and multiple dogs have eaten and drank out of them, and they're just really high quality, and they're cleaner than plastic and less breakable than ceramic. So I highly recommend that you keep your bowls minimal and you choose the right material. For me, that right material is stainless steel. Next, the thing that I do not keep in my house is a ton of grooming tools. I'm a huge supporter of professional groomers. My dogs go to professional groomers for most of their grooming needs, for nail trims, for haircuts, even for baths. Even though I could do them myself, I like to take them for a full groom a few times a year, especially for my bigger dogs that don't need haircuts. We do like to keep them brushed. Here at the house, we have 1 really good brush that we've invested in. We have 1 set of clippers that we'll use in the case that we have an emergency where we can't take them to the groomer and we need to clip a nail or 2. And we keep 1 shampoo bottle and maybe 1 ear rinse. And that's all we keep because I like to take my dogs to the groomers. And our veterinarian was also really great about doing nail trims and ear cleanings as needed. So I really just don't see the point of having a ton of those things when I really prefer to take my pets to a professional for those kinds of services. The next thing that I do not keep in my house for my dogs, they're just products that I do not invest in. It's accessories for my dogs, like jackets and booties and raincoats. Luckily, we live somewhere that is pretty mild as far as temperatures. We don't get a lot of snow. We're in the desert in El Paso, Texas, where we don't get a lot of rain either. So my dogs don't need it. And I do believe that dogs are pretty much self-reliant when it comes to the weather, as long as they're not left outside in extreme temperatures for unreasonable amounts of time. So for me, I just don't see the need for all of these accoutrements that people buy for their pets, and especially not a big fan of costumes for pets. I like my dogs to be dogs, and I don't think my dogs would really like to dress up as like turtles or lions just for any reason whatsoever. So I don't invest my money in those things. I don't keep them in my house. And honestly, whenever I'm given those as gifts, I kind of pass them on along pretty quickly because they're just not my style. And then the last thing that I do not keep in my house, and this is actually more of an ethical preference rather than a personal preference, I don't keep prong, choke, or shock collars in my house. I will not use aversive tools that use punishment and force to teach our dogs to do something differently. And actually, science have proven that they don't really work all that well, and they actually do affect the relationship that we have with our pets. So I don't use aversive tools, no shock, no choke, and no prong collars, because I just don't like the way that it creates a hostile environment for my dogs wearing those things. I don't want that to be our relationship. I don't want me to be forcing them to comply on walks. I don't want them to be forced to not touch things because they're being shocked by something that hurts them in order for them to stop displaying a behavior I don't want. I don't like that. And I also take my role as a role model to my children very seriously. And I don't want my children to see me hurting our dogs to get their cooperation. I want it to be more of a family approach, similarly to the way I raise my kids, where we work together to have a happy life together and not force nature out of my dogs. If they pull, I buy a harness that helps with the pulling, and we practice loose leash walking with treats and reinforcement. And we create situations for the dogs where we manage behaviors. Those kinds of things just don't set well with me. I don't like the approach of aversives. I don't like the approach of forceful and punishment-based training. I just don't keep these aversive tools in my house because I don't ever want to use them. I never see the need to use them. And I'd much rather work with a trainer, with other tools that are at my disposal, which are there's so many that really, I don't think aversives are necessary at all. If you have any questions or any comments on what I've just covered, please make sure you comment below and make sure you hit the like button if you liked my message today. And please be sure to subscribe to my channel. I share my videos from my show, interviews with experts, cocktail recipes. I share do's and don'ts for pets and travel and dogs and cats and all the things that I love. I share on this channel. So I hope you'll follow me and join me for future videos by hitting that subscribe button and following me on social media. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.